What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Vinyl Den, your channel for record collecting by record collectors. I'm Nick. Today, doing something a little bit different. Today, I'm looking at some of the worst album covers in music history. There's a bunch of links down below. You got links for the Vinyl Den Facebook group, for the merch page, for the Spotify and Apple Music playlist that I put together every week, and the Patreon page. So make sure you check all that out. Like always, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I release new episodes. So we've all seen some terrible album covers over the years. Some are just hilarious, some are just odd, some just make no sense, but there's a lot of really weird ones out there. I came across this website that lists what they consider the 46 worst album covers ever made. I just thought it'd be kind of fun to kind of go down through some of these. Some of these I've seen before, a vast majority of these I've got no clue what genre of music these are. But this was posted over on thunderdungeon.com. I'll put a link down below in the comment section if you want to check this out for yourself. It's funny, it says that some album covers are so bad they're good. I will say a vast majority of these are just so bad, they're just absolutely bad. This first one, like I said, I've got no clue what this is. So this is Come Home Baby. And this one I tried to look up online. I couldn't find anything about this one. I'm assuming it's from the 70s. I mean, I've got no clue even what kind of genre it could be. I'm assuming it's nothing good, though. But whoever this guy is, if this is you making this album, this is not an album cover that you want to go with. So this is actually one I'm a little familiar with. I've never listened to this before, but this is Wild Thing, Old Lady. I've seen this album cover before. This is easily some of the worst hair I've seen on an album before, but that's a bad look, regardless of what year or decade you're in. This is one I might be wrong on. I don't think this is actually a real musician. Maria Leonora. I think this is actually a gag album that was released a few years ago. Because I think I've seen this one before when it came out. I've seen something posted about this one before. But still, that is a really creepy album cover, regardless of what you put out there. The next one, this is a good one, though. I will say that I've covered like really funny, hilarious album covers on this channel before a long time ago. And I always got comments about, well, you always pick on Christian album covers. And I'm not trying to pick on Christian album covers in particular, but some of them are just absolutely hilarious. Like this one, Sounds of His Coming. I mean, come on, like you're just tossing up softballs for me. You can't help but laugh at an album cover like that one. I mean, look at this one. Can't Nobody Do Me Like Jesus? Come on. Like I got no clue anything about the music or the quality of the music or what's on there. But, just the title of the album, I mean, you're just asking for yourself to be laughed at. Another great classic one. Here's Carlos. Don't know what Carlos is doing, but Carlos is sitting in a bathtub. That looks like one of those plastic, toy airplanes sitting in his lap. I don't know. That's just a bad album cover, though, regardless of what you want to do with that one. Then you got Johnny Carroll. Johnny Carroll is another classic album cover. I've seen this posted on other channels before. I actually think I've had this one in a previous video. But Do You Want to Touch Me? No, Johnny Carroll. I don't think anyone really does. This is one I've talked about on the channel before because this has to be probably maybe one of the creepiest, if not creepiest, one of the more awkward album covers ever made. So this is John Bolt. This is Julie's 16th birthday. I don't know why Julie has that look on her face and what John is doing at that table with her, but it's probably nothing good, and there's probably nothing good coming from that conversation. Easily one of the creepiest album covers out there, I think. Got another great religious one here. You got Margaret Allison with Touch Me Again. This is another great one. This is another one I've seen before. This is Variations, Dig 'Em Up. That is a hearse. That is a hearse on your album cover with a casket on the top of it. No, I've never heard this one before. I probably do need to. This is one I'd like to look up. I'm sure this is probably available on YouTube to listen to somewhere, but that's an absolutely hilarious album cover right there. Like I said, I've got no clue of the genre of music. I'm hoping it's something kind of novelty, kind of quirky, kind of fun flavor to it because it would definitely fit with that album cover, I think. So this is another kind of famous album cover that I've seen posted before on other channels. I've had it here on this one also. Squirt Does His Thing, semi-soft music in Tijuana style. It's very suggestive. So this is actually a promotional album put out by the Squirt Company. there's multiple different versions of this one that are out there. I don't think any of them are as hilarious as this one, but surprisingly, this one actually goes for not a whole lot of money in Discogs. You can find this one for the year in which this was released. This one actually goes for a pretty decent amount. You're gonna pay, $20 to $30 if you want to buy a decent copy of it. Because I know there are some people out there that do collect some of those novelty kind of gag albums. It's one I always laugh at whenever I see it pop up. So I have to say that I went through the first 11 or 12 of them before I decided to do a video. I was just kind of scrolling through the internet. So I have not seen this album, but this is hilarious. So this is the Sex Symbol of the South, Elmer Fudd Pucker Sr. live in concert. Just the picture of the guy on the cover and the title, it just matches just perfectly. And then with this next one, I don't want to shame anyone out there, but as a bald guy, when it's time, it's time. I'm not the title of the album is bad enough as it is. If I Should Touch You, but as a bald guy, it's time. When it's time, it's time. Just kind of shave the rest of it off there, man. This is, what is going on in this picture? Okay, this cannot be a real album. Someone actually, so you went in a recording studio, you recorded an entire album, and then you're like, look, this is what we're going to do on the album cover, and this is how it turned out. That is priceless. That is great. That is definitely an all-time classic right there. All right, so I can't laugh at this one. This actually looks like something I would listen to. So you got Smack My Crack. So you got Nick Cave on here. You got Tom Waits, Butthole Surfers. This is definitely something I would listen to. I can't laugh that much at this one. The artwork is a little crazy on there, but it probably matches the music on the album, honestly. This is another one of those albums I've got to think to myself, what kind of genre can this be? All My Friends Are Dead by Freddie Gage. It's him kneeling in front of the grave in the cemetery. Once again, you kind of go through the whole recording process. You record an entire album and you think to yourself, this is the message I want to portray on my album cover. So relax, you're going to lose weight. This has to be one of those self-help kind of albums, which I guess I'm sure was a thing back in the day. I mean, you always had self-help albums. When I was a kid, they were on cassette. You'd buy them on they'd have had infomercials on at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning for them. You'd buy a cassette and play them overnight, and it'd help you lose weight or help you do whatever. So I guess there was a market for them. So I guess there was albums for them. Judging off the title and the way the album cover looks, I'm guessing that's what it's for. Especially with the whole lose weight now hype sticker in the corner there. This is another one that's got to be. This has to be a gag. This cannot be a real album. Eskimo Cowboy. We Got the Moves. Is it 2 guys on a donkey or a horse there? Nice hair, guys. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to get banned off of YouTube, but that's just bad. That's a bad album cover. That's another one where it's got to be a gag. All right, so this album here. So this is Eddie Brumley. I Found Jesus at Walmart. This is very much giving off vibes of your youth pastor at your local church trying to be cool. Recorded an album in his basement, threw together an album cover or a CD to give out to the kids in the youth group. That's the vibe I'm getting from this one. All right, so not only is this one suggestive, but this is just really creepy again. Some of these older album covers, they're bad. Cuddle Up with Craig Douglas. Craig, no, nobody wants to cuddle up with you. No one should be cuddling up with you. You're probably on a list somewhere if you're still alive. That's just bad. But I mean, in all reality, it's probably a children's album or something like that. It's probably something nice and innocent. And just looking at this album cover, 50 plus years later, it just looks a lot worse than what it was. Now, this is hilarious. This is hilarious that they've got Yesterday and Today on here, because the Butcher cover, I've never had a problem with the Butcher cover. Yes, is it weird? Yeah, but I don't think it's as hilariously terrible as some of those other ones on there. I definitely would not have Yesterday and Today on a list like this. All right, this is one I've got. I've got a lot of questions for this one. So this is Stoop Down Baby, Let Your Daddy See. No, I might have to block out this image on YouTube. I might not even be able to show this. That's I get it. The 50s, 60s, 70s, there was a completely different sense of humor than there is now. And there's things that, get you canceled today, from the 90s that get you canceled today. But this is I'm sure that even when this album was released, this was kind of weird even then. So this is another one that's a little interesting because back in the, was it the mid 80s? Was it Wendy's? I think it was Wendy's did the whole "Where's the beef?" Yeah, this "Where's the beef" lady, and there's all these different ad commercials or these commercials for Wendy's and their burgers, and it, like, morphed into all this other stuff and ended up being like in like political ads and all sorts of crazy stuff. They'd have these "Where's the beef," slogans. Apparently, it made its way onto an album also. At least I'm assuming. It looks like it's around. Like, I don't know anything about this album, obviously, but it looks like it's from around that time period. Kind of an interesting thing to put on your album, though. So this is kind of an interesting one. So this is The Night Pastor and Seven Friends, Music to Lure Pigeons by. This is one that this one isn't like terrible, not as terrible as some of the other ones. It just kind of did pop into my head, though, that like pigeons. There are some people out there that think pigeons don't really exist, that they're actually drones. It's a whole like weird conspiracy theory that exists out there, but it just popped in my head when I saw that the album cover. But yeah, this one that I would at least listen to this one just because the strange title. I'm assuming, music to lure pigeons by, it's got to be like a bunch of weird noises and whistles, I guess. But then again, it would be kind of funny to have an album cover like this and then have it be like 70s death metal, which I think would be even more hilarious. I know that's not the case, but it'd be funny if that's what it was. I did end up skipping over a few of them because some of them are a little tame. But this one is so this is Bruce Babyman Baum, Born to Be Raised. That is Bruce with a big man-sized diaper on, which apparently that must be Bruce's fetish, is to be a big baby. It's going through these albums make me think, what genre of music is this, or could this be? There was a couple of them I tried to look up online and couldn't really find out a whole lot about. I did see them on Discogs, but I didn't see really any kind of description, what kind of genre or anything they were. But I would at least be interested to listen to at least a few of these albums. Like this one, I would definitely listen to a Superheroes album. I'm sure the music is horrible, but I would at least check it out. It'd be fun to listen to. I don't know why this is on it. I wouldn't put this on this list. It's not terrible. It just is a little weird, maybe, but it's not as bad as some of the other ones. Poor Mark. All he wanted was to see Jesus. There's nothing really bad about this one. Some of the religious ones are definitely over the top, but this one's not bad at all. Then you've got Corn Dog Love. What is this? The Barnyard Playboys. I'm not going to lie. Like, if this was like the late 90s and I was scrolling through like a bargain bin, CD bin, I would probably pick this up for a couple of bucks and listen to it. Just because of how absurd it kind of looks. And I did find a couple of great albums doing that back in the day. But she's definitely looking longingly at that corn dog. All right, this is one that I'm 100% I'm going to have to blur part of this on YouTube. There's no way I could show this on there. But this is one that this is just weird. All right, this is more than creepy. That's borderline just weird. Oh, after I looked it up, this makes sense. So apparently, this is an Italian-Hungarian singer. She's also an adult film star and politician. All tracks, all make sense. She gained fame in the 80s for her provocative performances, so this album cover definitely matches that. Very interesting. Like I said, I will put a link down below if you want to check out some of these album covers, because there's nothing like explicit on this album cover. I know YouTube will not like this one. And then just kind of throw on some honorable mention ones there. I did, because there were some other ones I've seen before that weren't on that website that I did want to kind of go over. So this is Ken by Request Only. This was one of the creepier ones that I think I've seen out there. Another one of those albums where I don't know musically what's going on, but like looking at that album cover, it's like, that's one guy I don't think you'd want to ever see like walk up behind you on a street in the middle of the night. And I'm going to ignore the Village People album there for a second and just focus on Songs for Gay Dogs by Patty Roberts. I don't, do gay dogs really need an album full of music? That's another one of those album covers where it's like, I guess the album artwork isn't all that bad. It's just the title of the album just gets me every time I see it. And then the last two I've got are probably, I think, the two worst. So you've got Millie Jackson, Back to the Shit, where I don't know why you would ever take a photo for your album cover of you sitting on a toilet. I mean, that's easily, hands down, has to be one of the 5 worst album covers ever made. I'm not gonna lie though, if I was at a record store and I saw it, if I could pick up a copy of that for a couple of bucks, I probably would, just for the laughs of it. And then you got the Ritchie Family, Bad Reputation. This is another one I've seen multiple times. This is one that I've got no clue This has got to be like, I'm assuming like Village People, kind of 70s type of disco. It's really kind of the only thing I think really kind of fits the vibe of the album cover. It's one that's not as terrible, obviously, as Millie Jackson, but it's probably not one I would pick either. Well, that's all I got for you today, guys. Thanks for checking the show out. I figured do something a little different, go over some of these really funny album covers I found online. And yes, before anyone asks, yes, I'm wearing my Taylor Swift Misfits t-shirt just for, I figured we were talking about funny album covers. Why not wear that today? But let me know what you guys think of these hilariously horrible album covers. Like always, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. That's all I got. Until next time, keep on spinning. Peace.